The choices you made in your personal story. As an example, you could be out later on adventuring, and you save some people, but their village was destroyed. They will then, those NPCs will then move into this home district and be neighbors of yours. One of the choices that the humans have later on in the game is they have a choice. There's an orphanage and there's a hospital in here. You have a choice to save one or the other, but not both. Depending on what you choose, there will be one burned out building and probably a lot of sad people standing around it, and the other one will be upright and running. Really, these are just examples of the kind of choices that you'll be making in your personal story that will be directly reflected in your movement story. So we'll go ahead and head into the tavern, where my friend Petra and her father are running the joint. Now, if I went ahead and continued with the storyline, I would end up in a bar fight with some of the NPCs here, and it would push me further down my personal story. Now, if I had chosen nobility when I was in the biography, my friend Lord Farron would actually be throwing a banquet in my honor. And if I had chosen I was from the streets, I would be meeting up with my old childhood friend Quinn, who's in a little trouble with a street gang that we were both members of. So at this point, for the purposes of time, we're going to go ahead and move over to the higher level content for this demo. We will be playing a Char, which, as I mentioned, is a ferocious martial feline race that we have in Guild Wars 2. And we'll be going into a level 40 plus area called Blazeridge Steppes. Blazeridge Steppes is, for those of you who remember Guild Wars, is very much in the old geography of Ascalon. But the Char pretty much are the dominant race in Ascalon right now, and an Elder Dragon has flown across the Blazeridge Steppes area, corrupted many parts of it, and as a result, branded dragon minions are now moving up and down and out of control. So where do we stand on the dragon?
I can find just showing you the green here.
Well, can we just port over there? Yeah, let's just go port on this kind of the status there.
So you'll notice before we head over to now that we've moved into the high level content, we have a full set of the skill bar.
This is something that we're doing uniquely for the demo. There's an amazing dragon encounter that we want as many people to see as possible. So we put that little hook in there to allow people to teleport. Here, let me turn the volume down. It's going to get a little crazy soon. So we've got about weapon swapping right now. I mentioned that we wanted to keep the UI as clean as possible, but we did want to keep diversity in the things that you could do. So for example, what Matthew is showing here is weapon swapping between a longbow, there's our dragon, but we don't have to engage with it just yet. It's a longbow and double axe. Go ahead and switch back to double. Double axe is a very high TPS combination. And everything from like axe strokes to the ever popular whirling axe basically sends him spinning around, causing all sorts of damage. And you know what? First time I saw that, I said, that is a fun skill. If it didn't have a cooldown on it, I would use it all the time. But that would be a little overpowered. Go ahead and switch over to bow and show off some of the cool attacks we have just with the bow.
So one of the things that we did is with the warriors, we wanted to give them more to do than just, be the guy who holds the sword. So they're allowed to use weapons that you would normally think of would be for other professions, but they're tailored specifically to the warrior. A warrior has different skills wielding a bow than a ranger does. The warrior is tailored more to doing damage and less to doing some of that drawing and pointing from far away that a ranger
example of this fight is that not just us, but you can see everybody has very action-oriented combat. Movement is important. What Matthew is doing here is reviving somebody on the battlefield, and you'll see oftentimes it's not just one person who tries to do the reviving. So we've seen on the floor, people who are playing the demo, they like reviving. You want to see if we can get an elementalist to show off my cross-profession combos? Oh, there we go. So here's an example of two professions comboing off each other. An elementalist just dropped a fireball, and Matthew just both shot arrows and used whirling axe through it and started setting off fireballs in all directions and lighting his arrows on fire. This is an example of kind of ad hoc tactics that people in our, people in Guild Wars 2 could do, where you don't have to be party together. You can just be, using your individual skills, and if you're paying attention to what's going on in the battlefield, you can actually have some great combat moments. Yeah, so what Matthew's going to show off now is another example of what we call environmental weapons. Environmental weapons go ahead and change your skill bar when you take them over. And here, he's got a mortar that's basically bombing minions in mid-level. So before we really try to take the Shatterer down, you want to show down skills? The other thing that's been rather controversial and interesting about our combat system is that when you get when you health bar goes to 0, you are not immediately dead. You actually have a secondary bar that that person just revived us. So what happens is you have some time left after you're done to keep you attacking. If you defeat your attacker, you're going to spring back up. Likewise, one of the skills he's got is it will pop him back up for like 15-20 seconds, and then he'll just fall right down and he'll be defeated unless someone comes down to revive him. We found that this is not only a fun mechanic, kind of last-ditch attempt to get back up, but also it just keeps combat moving faster.
And again, that's different for every profession. The down skills that you use, for example, when the warrior goes down, his first skill is to throw a rock. His second skill is to rally the people around him to fight harder. His third skill is the one where he stands back up for 30 seconds before going completely out, exhausting his, and keep reviving him. Whereas the elementalist casts out electricity or causes the earth itself to reach up and grab opponents. In addition, with the waypoint system, even if you don't manage to take out an enemy and rally, even if you don't manage to get somebody else to come and save you because, they're all busy with the fight or you're out on your own in some godforsaken area, you can go back to the nearest waypoint and come back to the thing just like you would be able to, even if you were alive.
Well, I've just been told we have 5 minutes left. So, I don't know that we'll be able to get the Shatterer down in 5 minutes. It'll be really close. But as you can see, Shatterer is an impressive boss monster. He's very sophisticated. Great. He has all sorts of different types of attacks. A team is going to have to be paying attention to what's going on to really take him down. Nevertheless, this is the kind of boss monster that other MMOs would put at the end of a really long instance raid or dungeon. What we want to do is take encounters like him and bring him up to the world so that more people can experience him.
In addition, this is the sort of event that we want to have affected by other events. So you notice that there are those cannons that are up at the top. There are 4 of them. 2 of them don't function all the time. In order to make sure that they have function, there's an event chain that leads up to this. So you'll need to make sure that you escort the people to a certain area. You'll need to make sure that you hold down the area to keep it clear while they repair the cannons. Otherwise, this fight is going to be a lot harder because those cannons do a lot of damage against the dragon. So we want to make sure that even during a boss fight, it's because of the way people have interacted with the world that determines how that boss fight will go. You'll notice that there will be other events where there will be NPCs around who are all down because the monsters have swept in and wiped them out. And you can revive them or not. You can be a total solo badass.
I think we can tip the balance on this one if you get in there and start.
All right.
Yes, man.
Stop talking.
We're really close. Oh yeah, I think we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
There we go. So now we'll find out why he's called the Shadow. That succeeded. And of course,
Giant dragon, yeah.
there you go. The drawing jacket check. Yeah, because it's all about the loot. And because we participated in it, everyone who participated in the event will get an opportunity to interact with the dragon jacket. So, pretty much, I guess that's our demo with the time we have. We hope that you saw some things here that, make you understand why we're so excited about Guild Wars 2 and things we're trying to do with MMO gameplay.